Welcome to the Uncensored Journey podcast, a raw, unfiltered guide to truths that matter. We're diving deep, getting real about what it takes to truly transform inside and out. Ready for truth? Ready for transformation? You're in the right spot. I'm Cyndee, and with me, as always, is Gabriela. Now, let's get uncensored. Hi, Gabriela.
Hi, Cyndee. I'm so excited to talk about this because I've been looking to get on my soapbox for a long time.
Leave us in suspense. What's today's topic?
Today's topic is all about sugar and all the names and all the ingredients that it's parading itself and all the possible, wow, I'm going to cut this off. All right, so today we're going to talk about sugar and all the hidden names it goes under, and also how to identify all the different names and how to steer clear of them. So I literally have 100 ways that sugar could be hiding in your processed food and processed ingredients. It's quite disturbing. Yep. And I'm going to put a link to that list in the description of the episode so that you could reference it. If you use AI, if you use ChatGPT or Perplexity AI, you could easily get it from them as well. And I will put it in the podcast description so you could grab it easily.
Thank you. Don't leave us in suspense. What are some of the ways that sugar hides in our labels?
Oh my gosh. The biggest one is the high fructose corn syrup, or HFCS. Sucrose is another one, fructose, dextrose, maltose, agave nectar, lactose, glucose, molasses, evaporated cane sugar. What else? Brown sugar, brown rice syrup. Oh, that's a good one. The dextrin, dextrose, ethyl, maltol, evaporated cane sugar, grape juice concentrate, I don't know. Maltose, maple syrup, palm sugar, panela, panocha, powder sugar, rice syrup, turbinado, I don't know, I'm probably butchering this, turbinado sugar, sorbitol, mannitol, erythritol, palm syrup, coconut nectar, date syrup, monk fruit sweetener, monk fruit extract, maple sugar, and the list goes on. But what really got my goat, or whatever the expression is, is it's all these like healthy foods or healthy snacks that have it says 1 gram added sugar, and then it's only 2 or 3 grams of sugar in theory. And then you look at the carbs and it's 20 or 30 grams of carbs. Then you look at the ingredients and it says sugar in 3 or 4 different ways with some of the names I just shared with you guys. It's mind-boggling and irritating to discover that literally all you're eating is sugar, is processed. It's not even natural sugar, it's high processed sugar that is really the cause of so much disease and inflammation. There's this misconception and BS propaganda out there that talks about how salt is so bad for the body and you should avoid salt. Salt is bad. No, sugar is actually freaking bad, and sugar is at the root cause of a lot of disease. But yeah, how do you like sugar in your food, in your meat, in your sausages, like all these like weird ass like products that they add sugar? Like, why would you add sugar, a lot of sugar, to a sausage? Like, I don't understand that.
I don't know. This is why I cook my own stuff. I know it seems extreme, but this is why I know what's going in everything that I eat, because I don't want crap. I don't want to get poisoned by crap. And also sugar, I've learned, especially processed sugar, it affects my joints. Not natural sugar in like fruits or honey, but definitely sugar, processed sugar, white sugar, or whatever the name of it is that they're hiding it under. It affects my joints, and I don't want to have hurt knees or hurt elbows or sore knees or sore elbows, whatever. That's not how I want to how I want to live my life.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Also, there's so many other ways that you can get sugar. Like, I think, like, I hate like sugar, processed sugar is bad. It's just gross and bad, and all the freaking names that come along with it. But I think that natural sugar is just fine. And the way I eat, I need that natural sugar in fruits to give me some carbs because I don't eat grains. Slippery slope. I do love fruit. I don't eat a lot of it. I like very low glycemic fruit like berries. But yeah, but sugar they've done like tests and stuff, and sugar, like white sugar or like the derivatives of that you just read, all those things, they have similar addictive properties to drugs. So like cocaine and nicotine. And
I think I read a study that said heroin, like it's like the most addicting substance.
yeah, sugar it's hard to, yeah. And then you find yourself constantly craving sugary things, but not good sugary things like fruit. You're craving Fruit Loops or candy bars or I don't know, protein bars. Like you were saying, they package things as healthy and it's just got shit. They tell you that they hide it under the fat free or low cal. Fat free and low cal to me equals chemicals, and it's probably got hidden sugars in there somewhere, and it's the gross sugars. I feel like sugar is like a lot of the behavioral problems we see in little kids and stuff all come like all their food is fucking sugar. All of the shit they serve them at school, sorry for my language, it has sugar. They put everything. Ketchup is considered a fucking vegetable in California in the school system. And first of all, tomato's not even a fucking vegetable, it's a fruit, first of all. Second of all, why are we adding high fructose corn syrup and sugar to ketchup? Like, why does it need all that stuff? It's stupid. It's really stupid. So huh?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, so I'm saying, so these kids are sitting through school all day long with sugar like affecting their brain and their behavioral patterns. It changes their brains, and it messes with their impulse control and messes with like their emotions and how they're coping with things, anxiety and boredom and stress, and just it doesn't seem to be something that they should have. And the whole having a bunch of sugar at recess time or whatever, because a snack is what, a Fruit Loop or a Ding Dong and a Capri Sun. All that is sugar, right? You're eating your snack at recess, so you have this peak high, and then you like have this dip again. Then you have your lunch that's high in sugar, so you have this peak high, and then you crash again after lunch. It just doesn't seem like a very good way to keep kids engaged, or adults, right? Same thing happens with adults at work, to keep people engaged and their brains focused on things. So sorry,
Yeah.
off my soapbox, your turn.
I love it. No, it's I say I love it because it's so messed up. Like we're literally creating addicts from the beginning of their birth because, who's feeding them? It's their parents. And the parents were not educated because the same way that we don't get educated about loving ourselves and self-love, we don't get educated how to eat correctly either, because we think that the government has our best interest and we think that the powers to be like know what they're talking about. They don't. And yes, you have all those spikes up and down. And that is why kids with type 2 diabetes, like in their infancy and then as kids. And this is why now we have such a high case of diabetes, heart disease, and all these chronic disease, like obesity is at an all-time high. And why is that? Because everything has sugar. Like Greek yogurt should not be having freaking 8 or 9 grams of fucking sugar. Why is that happening? And all the salty foods, all the super processed, super high processed foods out there have sugar. Why do you need sugar in chips? And then you add on top of the sugar and the crappy salt, then you add the seed oils. And then you have a combination for absolute disaster to the body. Your slowly killing yourself by eating all this crappy food. That's an act of anti-love. It's sad. And I know that more and more people are talking about it and more doctors are more aware of it. And yet that's like a very small percentage. And I know things are turning, and I'm optimistic that there's going to be a revolution in food, but it has to be, because we have control over what we put in our bodies and how we live our lives.
I was just going to add a couple of things too. That sugar, it actually affects your organs as well. And so a lot of like younger people, because of all the sugar in our food in their early 20s or whatever, are getting liver disease. And not because of they're drinking alcohol, because we've heard the Just Say No campaigns and all that stuff throughout our childhoods. But, it's because of the sugar. Like sugar they make your organs fat. And it stores the fat in like especially your liver, and it just starts to inflame, and it starts to cause some health problems. Like you had mentioned the diabetes aspect. There's so many kids, or not even kids, there's so many people with diabetes. I know like most of the adults in my family have diabetes. They're all overweight as well, and they eat a lot of shit. And it's linked to it's linked to heart disease, like high insulin levels. It causes the muscle cells around the blood vessels in your arteries, and they make it grow faster than normal, making you have high blood pressure. That's not healthy. Your heart needs to be at a healthy rate to like beat for you and work for you and work through your body. Fucks with your cholesterol levels. It fucks with a lot of your brains. There's new research that links it to Alzheimer's disease, like an abundance of sugar. It wears down on your brain and your brain's ability to process glucose. And so it just starts giving you Alzheimer's. That's not cool. Who wants that? And then also my opinion, but since sugar is so addictive, I think we have a drug problem in this recreational drug problem, or like illegal drug problem, whatever you want to call it, in this country. And I really think like starting you out as a sugar addict as a child makes you an addict then later in life, right? You need to, there's an addict is an addict, and they have to be addicted to something, need something for their addiction. I don't know. That's my personal opinion. There's no scientific backing to that. But I also think that it like fucks with your appetite control. So you're not getting the proper nutrients you need. So you're always hungry and craving that sugar. I know we're going to talk about this in a later podcast, but I've taken everything but natural sugar from fruit and honey out of my diet. And I eat one meal a day, and I'm not hungry. I'm completely satisfied just eating natural whole foods. It's fucking amazing. We'll talk about that more at some point, I'm sure. And I also think the sugar, it influences food choices. So if you go to the grocery store and you're used to eating shit, like what are you going to grab? Shit. That box of Rice Krispie treats looks pretty fucking amazing because they taste delicious, but what are they doing to your body? I also with the whole addiction thing, I think with addiction comes a higher risk of depression, and these highs and lows that sugar gives you, the spike and the fall, in my brain kind of mimics depression. And what is it? The like manic depressive, right? So you're like have this super high, like sugar high, where like you have all this energy and then a crash, and then all this energy and then a crash, and then all this energy and a crash. And the sugar, but also the highly processed food, but the sugar is super highly processed too. And like you said, the seed oils and like all that shit that goes along with it. But yeah, I just think there's hidden sugar in everything. So sticking to Whole Foods is definitely not the store, but the foods. Whole Foods is definitely the place to go for food. Because you know what? Whole Foods, the store, is fucking shit. All their stuff, there's seed oils hidden in it, there's sugar hidden in all their prepared stuff, all their processed stuff, all of their prepackaged crap. All of the same things are in there.
Yeah.
The name's a lie. But yeah.
Yeah, preach on. Another thing that I love Dr. Berg. If you guys don't know him, he's awesome. And I was watching one of his videos, and it was about sugar. And I learned something because I thought I knew everything about the impacts of sugar. But one of the things that I had no idea about was it messes with testosterone. Like it lowers the testosterone, which leads to weight gain, especially for men, and then it increases the estrogen. And so that's why we get men that are obese or overweight. That is why. And for a while I thought, hey, it's just the soy. If they're plant-based or if they're vegetarian and they only eat soy, it's that. But no, it's actually the sugar as well. And another one that I didn't know about, or maybe I knew, but then I forgot, it really messes with your skin health. You age quicker the more sugar you eat. You lose the collagen and elastin, and your skin becomes less firm and elastic, and it leads to premature aging. I had no idea about that one. Low immune system also, osteoporosis. You lose the mineral loss. There's mineral loss because of that. Microbiome imbalance, which really, it's highly important to have your microbiome be in a balanced, harmonious fashion. And if your microbiome is out of balance, then everything is out of balance. And what else? Mood disorders, like you said, it leads to depression and high anxiety. And of course, heart disease. Yeah, it's just not good. No matter how you slice it or dice it, there's just so many negative effects of artificial sugar.
And there's a couple of things we haven't mentioned. Dental problems, like sugar, it fuels bacteria in your mouth, and it leads to the production of acids that erode tooth enamel, and it causes cavities. So it also can start with dental decay and then gum disease, which is not cool either. Also, one thing that we didn't talk about either was like the cancer risks, right? Like they've done studies and they proved that cancer feeds on sugar. And even like cancer patients that are in getting cancer treatments, they're given like these fruit drinks that are like, it's just not, there's no fruit juice at all, or like these things with glucose in them, or saccharin or sucralose or whatever, all these processed sugars that are disgusting and probably not aiding in their ability to heal, right? It's just feeding. They're just constantly feeding this cancer. And I know I say this a lot on this podcast, but as long as they can keep you sick, you're a customer. These things that they just don't tell you, or they sell you on the fact that like the sugar-free sugars or the sugar alternatives, like the sucralose or the aspartame, or what's the other one? I can't remember. Saccharin? Is that it? Anyways, doesn't matter. But those fake sugars, those sugar alternatives, it's just feeding on eating away at your body, eating away at your body. And the sucralose especially, it was being tested for as an insecticide. They were testing it to kill fucking bugs on plants. And there was a kid in the lab who didn't speak very good English, and when they said test these, he heard taste and he tasted them. Thank God this kid didn't die. But when they came back and he reported that it tasted sweet, they're like, we can now use this as a sweetener. Gross. So you're literally eating insecticide. So if it's killing bugs, what is it doing to your insides? Gross.
I agree. And I just did a quick search of cancer linked to high sugar intake.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what? There's breast cancer that's linked to it, colon cancer, pancreatic, liver cancer, and endometrial cancer, which is likely due to the obesity and elevated estrogen levels.
Yeah. I'm sure there's like liver cancers and those kinds of things too, due to the inflamed organs and the fat that builds around those organs, livers and like kidneys and those kinds of cancers as well. That's just my guess.
Damage, a mutation, oxidative stress, and chronic inflammation will lead to that as well. So.
Yeah, it's also, I feel like too, that like nutritional deficiencies, right? So your body, if not getting all these proper nutritions, then your body loses its vitamins and minerals and all the other beneficial compounds that you need to keep your body going.
Oh, and yeah. Thanks for reminding me about that. That's another thing that I learned, which is that if you consume a high sugar diet, or you consume sugar a lot, it depletes all the minerals and all the nutrients out of your body. So let's say if your goal is to bulk up, right? And you're using these crappy protein powders that are out there that are full of all this sugary crap, that you're not aware of. Instead of helping your body, you're hurting your body, and you don't even know. And now, instead of being 2 steps forward, you're 5 steps back. And yeah, it's wild. It's definitely a topic worth going down the rabbit hole, for those of you that haven't already.
I agree. So I read this statistic one time, and it was like how we used to eat and versus now what we eat. And so it was like in the 1800s, the average person consumed like 22.4 grams of sugar each day, and that would be like 10.2 kilograms per year. But in 1900, the average person consumed 112 grams of sugar each day and 40.8 kilograms per year. So tripled, right? And then in 2009, 50% of Americans consumed approximately 220 grams of sugar each day. Each freaking day.
That's all the sodas.
And that's
The candy.
81.6 kilograms per year. So in 100 years, that it like more than doubled of the sugar consumption that we have. And in 200 years, it's like, I don't know, I'm bad at math. Quadrupled? What's 8 times, because it was only 10.2 kilograms a year. It went up to 81.6. That's fucking crazy. Now tell me with a straight face that they are not trying to kill us with our food.
Can't, because I don't believe that. Because I think, like you said, we are a customer and done this. We're dumb enough to fall for their bullshit. I've been in that boat. I've fell for it, but no more. Now I'm aware. I know what's healthy, I know what's not. And it's really quite simple. Just eat whole food, make your own food. If you go to a restaurant, say you're allergic to seed oils and that you're on a no sugar diet. That's it.
I found this really cool app. I'm going to plug it because it's fucking awesome. But it's called Seed Oil Scout, and it is a map. It costs money. I don't remember how much money it costs, but it's $30 for a lifetime access or some ridiculous cheap price. But anyways, long story short is it wherever you are, it pulls up a map and it has like green, red, and check marks or whatever, like how healthy or the good the foods are for you to eat in the place, specifically seed oils, but they do go into a little bit more of description because you can set your search parameters with no sugar or whatever.
That's cool.
I have found 2 restaurants in my town that fry all their stuff in tallow, which delicious. I still don't eat fries, but like they fry like all their stuff is in tallow, which is amazing. So and we're not talking about seed oils, we're talking about sugar. But those seed oils also have sugar in them, which was my point. They're very highly addictive as well.
And also some of the seed oils are used for cars. So if
Combustion engines, yeah.
Yeah, if they're used for cars, why would you want it in your body?
That's actually what I think about when I'm grocery shopping is I'm like, this is going to kill me, this is going to kill me, this is going to kill me, this is going to kill me. So I just shop around the perimeter of the grocery store, fruits and honey and meat, grass-fed meat, and raw dairy. Keeps me out of sugar trouble. And like when I say I don't eat sugar, I don't eat processed white sugar. I get sugar in fruits, but it's a natural sugar that breaks down differently in your system. It's not going to like fatty your organs and all that stuff. So also, I think it's also worth mentioning too that the amount of bread and like carbs we eat, those carbs also break down into sugar into your system, which then triggers all of the same addictive behaviors and stuff. So they stick like the freaking what's that restaurant with the breadsticks? Olive Garden. People are like, I can't stop eating the breadsticks. I'm sure there's sugar in that bread, number 1 too. But number 2, the carbs break down into sugar. So you're just eating these breadsticks. I'm sure they're delicious, but I'm sure there's some sort of addictive property in there as well that's keeping you coming back to them.
That's funny you should bring that up because I'm following this biochemist. Her name is Glucose Goddess, and she has tricks on how to mask carbs and how to eat carbs in a better way so that they don't become sugar and you don't have insulin spikes. And one of the things that she talks about is how restaurants figured this out early on, and they do it on purpose where they bring out the bread so that they create an insulin spike so that you want to eat more, and so that you eat more and you order more, and it's you should basically you either decline the bread or you eat the salad first, which does not give you an insulin spike. And then once the second thing that you eat would be you would eat the bread with butter, and then that actually lowers the insulin spike. If you must eat bread and eat high quality bread and then eat it with butter, but first eat a vegetable or something so that you don't have that insulin spike, because we're not all power lifters and bodybuilders and people. I like to eat bread sometimes, but you could eat it smart. So yeah, that's a secret that the restaurants have caught on. So maybe next time say, hey, yes, bring the bread, but give me a salad first.
I'll add on to that is I sometimes will eat sourdough bread, but it has to, like good quality sourdough bread. But because I'm a baker, I know that most of the breads that they're putting in front of you aren't just like water, yeast, and flour breads. They add a lot of sugars to those breads. There's that piece to it too. But good quality sourdough is actually really good for your gut, actually really good for your health. Whatever that the fermented starter that it comes with is really good for you.
Yeah.
I have one growing on my kitchen counter right now, but I don't know how to make sourdough bread. So if anybody wants to teach me, hit me up. I know it's an all-day process.
Oh, yeah. You and my mom should talk.
I love her.
I know.
Yeah, sugar, processed sugar, bad. Processed sugar, crap. I agree. Any last minute comments on our sugar episode?
Yeah. Yeah, if right now you're eating a heavy processed diet, I'm not personally advocating that you stop cold turkey, because I've done it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and depends on the person and what the reason you're doing it. But at the very least, educate yourself and maybe watch a documentary or two and take it slow, but introduce vegetables, introduce salads, and stop using seed oils. Stop eating just sugar at every meal. That in itself, like if you could cut sugar to only eating it once a day, like that would be a huge improvement. And then ultimately going like once a week, and then so on and so on.
Or just start with one thing, like don't drink soda, or don't drink fruit juice, or don't use a salad dressing because those fuckers have a lot of sugar in it. Or just I guess the key to everything is reading the labels and know what you're putting in your body, because it's important for our health is important.
Yes, yes. And you will pay for it decades later. You won't pay for it now. Some people do pay for it now, but most people pay when it's too late and the costs are astronomical.
Yeah. People sometimes tell me that, oh, I can't afford to eat healthy. And I spend like $40 a week on groceries. I don't feel like that's a lot, but I also eat a little bit differently. But at the same time, if you prepare, I make a menu, I prepare, and then it's not so hard to eat healthy on a budget. And I'm eating grass-fed meats and high, like raw dairy and like things that aren't so cheap. But I guess it's a priority. Do I want to prioritize? I look at it, do I want to prioritize my health, or do I want like a Starbucks, or do I want like my nails done? And I guess it's a choice. It's a choice.
Everything is, yeah.
Always comes back to choices.
Yeah.
All right.
You have power. You are the creator of your life.
Agreed. Guys, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us this week. Please can subscribe on all platforms, and you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at The Uncensored Journey. You can find me at The Worth Warrior, and you can find Gabriela at Phoenix Medicine ME and you can find links to all her social media platforms from there. Until next week, bye.